Hello, hello, everyone. Stephanie Zima here. Welcome to the Mindset Mastery corner of the internet where we walk it free. All right, so today we're going to be talking about why you always freeze up right before you are going to reach out to somebody. That is going to be a very short video here today because I've got plans. Anyway, so here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. When you are building an online business, you have to get leads. You have to be able to start conversations with people. So if you are having a hard time reaching out to those people, you can already see the problem, right? You are not starting enough conversations, therefore you don't have enough people to show your products to, and therefore you're not making any sales. So how can we solve this problem? There are different ways. First of all, when you start freezing is usually because there is some kind of a disconnection between who you think you are, what you think your abilities are, and what you think they are going to want and expect from you. Okay, so there is a mismatch in expectations and in identity. That is where the problem is. So it's not so much the how to, because we really kind of know what we should do, right? We know we need to start a conversation. We know we sit down. We know where to find them. We kind of have an idea. We know what we are supposed to do, but we just don't do that. Why? Because there's mismatch, misalignments in who you think you are, your self-identity, and the expectation you think the others are having from you. Now, how do you overcome this? First and foremost, let's start by self-identity, okay? Your self-identity. Who are you at the core? What are your principles? What kind of person do you think is required to do this job, right? You are in sales. Many of you have beliefs that salespeople are sleazy. However, somehow you are in sales. So do you see the problem? You are in sales, but your belief says salespeople are sleazy. See, you've got to do some work in aligning those two. Because if you are in sales and that is how you want to make your money, but you think salespeople are sleazy, guess what? You do not want to be sleazy. So therefore, you are not taking the action of a salesperson because you just don't want to be associated with that. Do you see the mismatch? Okay, so first steps first, self-identity. What is the salesperson to you? It's different to everybody. Everybody thinks differently about being a salesperson or what they think they're supposed to do. Align that. What would be the ideal salesperson in your book? Really get with yourself and say, if I would have this person selling me X, Y, and Z, this would be feeling really good. If you have that vision in your brain about that identity, that's when you take yourself and say, how close am I from where I'm at right now, today, to where this image of this ideal salesperson is going to be, right? So you can then inch your way up to become equal with that person. Does that make sense? So it's really important to align your inner self, your beliefs, with what your actions needing from you, right? My mentor always said, become the one your results require. That is what's needed, right? That is what's meant by this. Become the one your results require. So what do you want? What do you want? Like, how much money do you want to make a month? What kind of person makes that kind of money? And then look at yourself. Look at your habits, look at your day, look at your environment, look at the people around you. Really take a good hard look as to where you are. And then when you have that, that's where your roadmap is. That's where you know, okay, I might have to level up here a little bit. I might have to heal and align a little bit. I might have to connect a little bit more. One of the things that I had realized is, I wanted always a lot of money because money for me equaled safety. And, I started realizing that I don't have any clue what people with a lot of money do. Like, how do they live? How do they have conversations? What do they do? How do they save? Do they save? Do they spend? What do they do? We have always, don't get me wrong, growing up, we've always had plenty money to be okay. But that's not the kind of money that I had in my mind, right? I wanted a lot of money because I had a lot of helping goals. I want to help a lot of people. And see, here's the thing. When I first started with this, I was feeling selfish for wanting more money. I was feeling selfish for feeling like I needed more security. And I had to work through all these money mindset beliefs where I realized, like, wait a minute, if I want to help all these people, if I want to do all this stuff, feed starving children and make an impact in women's shelters, and like all these thoughts that I've had in my mind, you can't do that with empty pockets. You can't do that without money. Money makes the world go around, right? I mean, you can't even feed the homeless people if you don't have money to buy the groceries. Think about it. If you want to really help a lot of people, you need to have money. Money is something that doesn't make a good person bad, right? Money highlights a good person's good intentions. And so, it's more so not the money is the issue. It's more so becoming that person your results require, becoming the person that actually can do these things. Okay. So align your beliefs with your desires, with your goals. That's really what it is. If you want to be around a lot of fit people, but you are choosing bad habits all the time, that's a mismatch, right? That's not really going to that's really not going to get you where you want to go. So that is really, really important. So when you are worrying about and you're freezing up reaching out to people or taking action in your business, it's always that your self-identity does not match what you think other people are thinking about who you need to become. I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if that makes sense to you, the way how I explain it. So it took me quite some years to really get to the bottom of it. Like, we hear this in motivational trainings all the time. We hear this all the time, but it never really sat with me, like what the actual action steps needed to be. And that is how I came to it. It's the alignment between who you think you want to be and what do you think about this person. So sleazy salesperson would be doing X, Y, and Z. Make sure you don't do that. But do the flip side, right? What do you want a salesperson to be like? Because sales it's neutral. I mean, it's neutral, not mutual. It's neutral. Sales is neutral, right? There's very amazing salespeople out there that are not bad at all. And here's the thing. I always thought, like, if somebody sells you something that you really want, really need, why would that be bad? Why would that be bad that they are compensated for their efforts? If they guide you to make a decision, if they guide you to a product that really will be life-changing for you, why would that be a bad thing? Think about it. It's just a belief that you have in your brain somehow that has probably been carried down through generations of people that may have gotten screwed. They may have bought something that they regretted later, so they blame that salesperson. But in fact, they should just blame themselves for not having done the research, having done the check-in with themselves, being responsible enough to have some resistance before buying, and really making sure that this is what you want and what you need, right? The lack of clarity many people are having is the real problem. It's not the salesperson. The salesperson start doing a job. They are showing you, they're helping you, they're guiding you, they're letting you make the decision if you are wanting to buy something, yes or no, right? Why would that be bad? So when you have trouble reaching out to somebody, that is where it's at, okay? It's your misalignment between who you think you want to be and what your belief is about that salesperson. Now, the expectation from others That is the second one, right? I am somebody that is a recovering people pleaser. I would always be very in tune to other people's expectations, and I would try to do every single thing to make other people's expectations, being met, because I was avoiding pain. So I was avoiding abandonment. I was avoiding being ridiculed. I was avoiding, a bunch of stuff. So I was avoiding the pain. So I would rather sacrifice myself, my beliefs, my feelings, my strength, and I exhaust myself. I would exhaust myself pleasing other people and meeting their expectations instead of evaluating their expectations. What is your expectation? What is it that you're looking to do here? What is it that you want from me? And then deciding myself whether or not I'm willing to give that. Right? There's a difference in this. You're in a different spot. If you do this in your sales conversations, if you are having a conversation with a prospect, figure out, what do they want? Figure it out. It's not about you always serving. It's not always about you bringing to the table and being amazing and having the marketing and having all this so that you can give, because now you're making it about you. See, if you switch that and more focus on what are they expecting from me? What are they expecting from the solution that you're selling? Let it be insurance. What do they want that insurance to do for them? Let it be that home that you're going to sell. What do they want that home to be like, feel like, look like? Right? Let that be your wellness product. What do they want to achieve when they buy that product? What is their expectation? See, you got to ask those questions. And when you are freezing, it's because you thinking you have to meet that expectation, when in fact, you do not need to meet that expectation. Your very, very first step is just to find out, what are they expecting in the first place? What are they expecting? And then you get to decide, do you want to meet that expectation or do you not? That is where the key is. And I hope you really heard me on this, because only because you're starting a conversation with somebody doesn't mean that you are going to be becoming their best friend, becoming their salesperson, becoming their realtor, becoming their insurance agent, you don't have to do that. That would be prostitution. Right? In my mind, that you have an opportunity to say no. You can say no, thank you. This does not meet my expectations now. Right? And that is maturity. That is growth. This is when you understand that you're taking a little bit of power back. And I feel like the reason why so many are freezing and not reaching out and not doing the conversations is one reason is, of course, time management, but it's always belief. It's always the belief, where's the mismatch in the identity and the expectation. And then the second thing really is what I just said, is you get to decide. You get to decide if you want to work with the people. You have that power. And if they drain you, or if they're coming back and they're not feeling really well, you get to say no. There is so many people. And if you don't want to say no to some people that don't make you feel good, then that's a scarcity mindset. There are so many people in the world. And with the internet and with it, we don't have to no longer depend on only the small little people in our circle. You get to meet new people. And I know social anxiety sometimes sets in, where you are feeling like, well, wait a minute, I don't really meet anybody. I don't talk to strangers. I don't want to talk to strangers. But, I've made the best friends from strangers. That's just what it is. I've met the nicest people in strangers. And it's just about the experiences that you do and have, and the ability to be strong enough in your convictions and your personality to say no if you need to. All right, my friends, I hope this was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments. Share this out with somebody that needs to walk it free as well, and needs some mindset mastery that changes and transforms your lives. All right, we'll see you later.